Oh, hello. Didn't see you over there. We're getting ready for game number 3 here at the UKLC. It's going to be Demise versus MNM. Demise have had an experience so far here at the UKLC, and honestly, I don't need to go into it. We've seen we say it every time. It's like, man, this is Rifty. We expect such big things from him, but ultimately there are problems at the team right now, and we need to figure out what they need to do. So, what do you think is kind of the core issue Demise is struggling with right now?
I mean, certainly in the opening couple of weeks, their drafts. We could paint over unorthodox drafts with just saying, hey, getting a bit creative. They're trying things out. No harm, no foul. And a lot of the time, teams will prefer to drop games earlier on in the season, rather than obviously at the later stages where those games start to count more and more. But as time has gone, unfortunately for them, the drafts have gotten better. The last, sort of 3 to 4 games, their drafts have gotten a little more consistent. They are a little more cohesive. They haven't really had the opportunities, though, to show through. So I think now that their drafting seems to be, for the most part, sort of fixed, the issues there have been fixed. I think now it sort of just comes down to execution and play style. But again, they're into a team where, much like Resolve, their macro is up there as one of the stronger teams in the league, but MNM will go out of their way to attempt to skill check you. And
I would like to actually get a fact check now. I don't know if this is something you can do right now, or hopefully someone at the production end can hear. What point do Demise just not make playoffs? Like, how many games do they have to lose now for them not to make playoffs at all? Because we got to be getting pretty close to that. Right?
Taking into consideration today's games, because I can't actually remember the standings that well now. I think if they drop this game, it's like pretty bad. But who was above them? Barrage just got another win, so now they're 4-4.
Yep.
Envision are still yet to play. So if Envision win their game later versus London, then it's really bad. Like at that point, I think it might mathematically lock them out of playoffs. Kind of bad.
We'll get someone back at the office.
Someone will run the numbers. Someone will run the numbers.
While we do that, let's have a little look at the game itself. So Udyr and Talia and Seraphine on the side of Demise, and over on the side of MNM, they banned away the Olaf and the Pantheon. Final banned with that Camille. And I'm just looking at what's been left open. Things like the Kaiser, we do see a lot of these AD carries up towards that as the first rotation. The Hecarim, the Graves, there's a fair amount up still.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised they opted for the Camille ban, because Rifty was afforded a very good opportunity to play the Camille over the weekend, and he just didn't play it, strayed away from it, which in my eyes might just signal to me that either he prefers the Wukong, because it is a champion that when it was meta and once it was reworked, Rifty was almost kind of synonymous with for a little while, but I'm not sure it's really a champion he favors anymore. But MNM felt uncomfortable leaving it up, so we'll have to see if there's any particular reason for it. Zandru's going to snatch up the Kaiser for himself, and the response from Kazura is going to be that Hecarim, so it just spells aggression to me from the MNM side. We'll see what they round it out with. Have plenty of options.
Alrighty, well, there's going to be the Rel and the Hecarim locked in for MNM. Now over to the side of Demise, looking for most likely a support and a jungler here. Obviously Talia banned away, the Olaf banned away, the Pantheon banned away. So normally what we see at this point when the Hecarim's picked up is the Lilia as the answer to the Hecarim. So it kind of makes sense here for Handcat. We saw it in the last game, not really to the same level of success you normally see out of it. But it is going to be the lock-in, and we know it does work.
Yeah, and I would expect something along the lines of either a Thresh or a Alistar here. Both these two champions probably work the best into this role pick. And of course, obviously synergize really well with Kai'Sa. We could potentially see something like a Leona, but I feel like that would stray a little too far into the engage realm of support picks. And yeah, I'm a big fan of the Thresh pick. It works really well in lane into this rel. Once she's demounted, she becomes a very easy target to Death Sentence, and also her spells are actually relatively slow, so you can react with your abilities, the Flay and the Death Sentence. But looking at MNM now, they're likely to lock in an AD carry. Hovering the Xayah, I think, honestly, it's fine here. They could go for a more aggressive option if they felt like, maybe something like the Jhin to follow up on some of the dive. But honestly, Xayah is such a versatile pick in general in this meta, and it's just risen, honestly, in priority over the last couple of weeks, and we're going to see how he locked that one in for himself.
Alrighty, well, that will be the lock-in as we head into ban phase 2. Expecting to see probably some mid laners getting pinched here. So we'll keep our eyes out on what they're going to be locking here. The Victor, the Orianna, the Syndra. There's lots of mid laners open right now. And
quite a few.
I'm curious to see where this counter pick goes, whether or not they counter pick for DBL or they counter pick for Tyrex.
Yeah.
Looks like for the moment, though, top laners are going to get focused as the Aatrox is being removed from Rifty.
Yeah, so if we see another top lane ban from MNM, we could potentially expect an R4 lock-in for DBL. There are, I guess there could potentially be a couple of flex options they could go for, but they're not really too traditional. One of them would have been the set, but that's going to be banned away. MNM, one of the few teams in the league that actually run this champion. Somebody yesterday ran it, and I can't remember who it was, and it's going to bug me until I do remember. I think it might have actually been Demise. Anyway, I'm not going to try and remember. DBL obviously has been playing a lot of set. He's been making the champion look really, really good in some of these team fights. And DBL, MNM banning out 2 top laners. So if we see another top lane ban come out of Demise, we could just see MNM try and snap up whatever they believe is the best remaining top laner to blind into Rifty. But at the same time, we're talking about Rifty, so they might actually feel more comfortable leaving that pick to DBL, that final pick, and they lock in something else. But no, they're just going to go with the blind Gragas instead.
Gragman locked in there for the top lane. Not going to go support and not going to go jungle, so all the flex lanes pretty much done with that. Over to the side of Demise, looking towards their mid. See what they're going to be looking to lock in here. I don't think we're going to see a Malzahar, as much as that would be a real curveball.
Probably not going to get
particularly the best pick right now, especially blind. And looking at what's open, it is actually going to be the Yone locked in for Pillar. To round it out, they'll be looking for a top laner to deal with the Gragas.
Yeah, so Demise were definitely lacking a little bit on the AD front. They did have quite a fair amount of magic damage. Of course, Yone brings every type of damage to the table, magic, physical, and true. And honestly, we're just going to see Poppy come out from Rifty, actually. Definitely not a champion you see commonly, but I could actually understand the pick quite naturally into a lot of the champions, actually, that MNM are running. But particularly into that Gragas, you can stop the body slam, and we're getting the Fizz hover.
We saw it last week.
In.
Was it last week?
All right.
Yeah, when we had our disconnect, actually, where there was issues on our end. MNM pulled this out. Tyrex actually went 5-0-6 or 5-0-8 or something on the Fizz. Like, actually had an incredible performance. You can dodge a lot of what the Yone's going to be throwing at you with the troll pole. Actually,
troll pole.
Have you never heard that one?
No, that's cute. I like that.
I love the troll pole. Honestly, I'm so excited to see the Fizz. It's been such a long time, apart from last week. Ignoring that, we're isolated from that. It's been a long time since we've seen the Fizz, and have to see how Pillar's going to be able to navigate this lane, because it's not a champion you typically see all that often as well. So I'm curious to see how much he's versed with the Yone versus Fizz matchup.
Yeah, and actually, you know, Fizz obviously has a really good time into a lot of the immobile mages in the mid lane, but also his matchup into other melee champions is typically quite good because his auto attacks are so front loaded with damage, and you kind of get to pick and choose the trades that you can take in many scenarios. That being said, Yone does have a relatively tricky kit. He can obviously retaliate, dodge out from the playful trickster with his own E as well, the Unbound Soul. So we'll have to see how Pillar actually fares in this matchup. He's running the exhaust, so he's
Troll Soul and Troll Pole. That's what's going on over here.
Troll Pole. Wow. All right, I like that. I like that. But honestly, a lot of what we've seen out of MNM here, you know, aggressive team composition, diving forward. They want to skirmish with just about every pick they've got here. On the Demise side, their draft not too terrible. Definitely in comparison to what we saw in some of the early weeks. A lot to work with here. One thing I do potentially fret for them for is the potential for a lack of engage. They do have some sort of non-committal engage options for them, particularly the Yone ult, especially if it's bound with that E ability. You can just snap back afterwards if you do whiff, but we'll have to see how Demise navigate, because it is going to be MNM coming into them in most scenarios. Either way, have to see. Summoner's Rift time again.
Well, we are on to the Rift for game number 3.
Ooh, bottom side stack. Regan's actually snuck his way into the bush.
Actually, might have to hold that one.
Yeah, Kuzi has no idea that he is here. But I think Regan has to unmount and then remount. Or I don't know how the ability works, actually.
He's going to remount. He's going to get the stun, and Kuzi's going to flash. There we go.
All right, fair enough.
Flash down on the fresh. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, I still need to properly learn what Rail does. But I feel like when you when you demount, you have the stun circle thing. Pretty sure.
It's Rel and Viego, the only champions I haven't played yet.
Oh, goodness me. Are you ready for Viego next week? I'm pretty sure he'll be.
Is it next week?
Next week. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, God, I'm going to have to go play some Viego. I actually know how he works better than...
yeah. This,
the problem I have is since Rel came out, one of the guys I like to play with, just like, you know, play chill games with, he literally mains Rel.
Right.
So it's in every game I play. I play with Rel all the time, but I've not actually played her myself or like read her kit. And I've had him try to describe it to me, but I'm a learner by doing.
Yeah.
I sucked in school when the teacher would be telling you what like how something works. Yeah. I'd have to do it myself.
Yeah, that's understandable. Everyone learns differently, Jake. It's okay.
It's why I didn't read the items or anything about them when I first when the patch came out, when pre-season came out. I just played.
Honestly, same. I didn't really read much.
I never read pre-season. There's so much for pre-season.
I mean,
time.
Look,
I like the pre-seasons.
This season was obviously a little heftier because we had a complete item overhaul. That's a nice death sentence. Regan.
Oh,
honestly, that's a lot of damage. Wow.
Ignite into another Void Seeker as well as Tyrex. I like those kind of knockups where the model goes a little bit crazy.
I agree. Honestly, all of these lanes kind of scrapping a little bit. Losing HP. Regan doesn't blow the flash. Elects to keep it on him. Which does mean with Kazuro coming down, Kuzi could be a relatively easy target for a gank. But Hankar is actually taking a full path down to the bottom side himself, so could see some potential action more or less around the Skull Crab. As Tyrex getting in for a trade here.
Spirit Cleave shield is actually pretty nasty. There's the troll pole pillar experiencing fizz lanes. Hankar actually comes to try and steal this crab, this blue buff away, and Kazuro, she's just going to launch in onto him. There's a lot of damage, and now Kuzi's making his way over. They get the speed up and they get the safety. That's going to be Crab in the bot side secured by Kazuro, and
honestly, double Crab.
Might lose his top Crab as well.
Yeah, double Crab could very easily be on the cards, especially with Pillar having to reset and pretty much full top lane priority here for DBL. Does just mean that he's not really going to be under any threat. See Tyrex securing mid lane priority at the same time, so just going to get a pass through. Kazuro's going to get that double scuttle for himself. He's going to be feeling very happy about that one. Particularly, Hecarim isn't always the strongest early game champion in the world, so getting a nice start off is very good for him. Pillar, even though forced to reset quite early on, isn't necessarily too far behind in CS. Certainly a matchup where he could get bullied a little bit. But again, it's not necessarily one I'm too, versed in. We don't see Fizz often. Tyrex seems to be a bit of a connoisseur.
This is an interesting top lane, actually, because Rifty technically can stop DBL from trading with the Steadfast Presence. And there's shields, there's healing. It's actually a really irritating lane, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, it's a big mind game, and Pillar he's
all right.
Yeah. So this is what I was talking about. The Fizz has such front-loaded damage in his auto attacks. It does make a lot of these melee matchups actually pretty easy to navigate. As Harry, not quite going to get rid of, but hello.
Good flash coming out. Regan actually able not to land the snare for the moment because Zero gets himself hooked, gets himself flayed. Teleports are coming in. The fight's carrying on. MNM looking to turn this one as Harry just putting the damage into Kuzi. The charge comes in and Rifty finds first blood. And it's a double kill in the bot lane for Demise. They take out 2.
Yeah, just an overcommand. DBL isn't able to actually teleport down simply because he doesn't have mana. If he teleports down, he's pretty much just a walking body bag. Maybe enough mana for one cast of a body stand, that's about it. But honestly, it's just a bit of an overcommit from MNM. They have the wave coming into them, and once they get that flash from Zandru, they can definitely walk away happy. There isn't really much a need to overcommit like this, and this is one of the, downsides to MNM's playstyle, is that they will overstep sometimes to commit to a play. And whilst Harry almost does take down Kuzi, it's just honestly not ever going to be worth it. At that point, you should always take that flash, be happy with it, see if you can make something happen in a return gank. But despite losing out on this bottom side play, Zero is going to be able to get his hands on this first dragon, so at least something.
I just got a little bit of an update while this dragon's going on. We won't have Viego next week.
That's kind of sad.
Might be playoffs. I actually don't have 100% information on when we'll have Viego. He's on the client. It's a matter of when we can get to the teams. There's a good hook actually by Kuzi, but there's the troll pole. Tyrex is out.
Actually very curious about that one. It's like the whole debate around Yone being available amongst teams during Worlds. As Regan
That one was, oh no, Regan. Oh no, Regan. Oh no.
Oh, everyone.
Regan's still dead.
Everyone, look away. That's not...
Ooh, he was point blank. Tyrex. Hey. It's so irritating.
It is very irritating. And Tyrex does have the shock available to him now, but Pillar having the exhaust does make the lethal range significantly smaller. And finding those pickups and yeah, tank v tank, DBL and Rifty basically farming out as a
Rifty?
If that cast was placed better,
DBL kind of messes it up as well. What is going on? Do you get everything? Actually on the bad for the moment. They do look to turn this one around and put them to sleep for the moment. The Fate Seal's not going to be big. Kuzi comes in, and this is MNM actually looking for their fight, trying to get himself a little bit more. Tyrex is taken out. Handcat with the double kill. Regan flayed back, and here comes the slam. It's a triple kill for Handcat.
Yeah, and Demise taking firm control of the game through these counter ganks or just capitalizations on MNM being really over aggressive in some of these plays. And you can see the gold lead is actually ballooned 3,000 to 8 minutes is nothing to scoff at all. As yeah, I mean, if this cask is just placed any better from DBL, just a little further down underneath that tower, that's a solo kill for Rifty. And Pillar eats the shark, has that soul unbound, but a nice double sleep comes in. And it is temporarily dodged away by that troll pole, but still not enough to keep him alive. Kazuro burns down to the Lilia passive. It's a nice swell seed as well on the back end to lock up Tyrex. And Regan demounted from that horse. So slow, and Honka just bonks him over the head. Picks up the triple kill, so he's going to be really, really strong. And I mean, if Kazuro...
just saw a trade in the mid lane. Fairly even trade, although Tyrex definitely got the better hand of it earlier. But the difference is there's corrupting pots on Tyrex to keep himself sustained for the moment, but Pillar has so much more to work with the fact he's got that Vamp Scepter. So just heals back up slowly over time, and looks like MNM are going to look to try and take this Rift Herald for themselves, because Zero trying to sneak this one away. Yeah. So MNM did get himself that early dragon as well, so he was a little bit of lane sustain off the back of that.
Bit of a cheeky Herald, really. As Pillar's actually...
Tyrex needs to dodge a lot here, but he's getting jumped onto. Swirl Seed's not going to hit because Zero's making his way over. He has got members about. He has got the charge available. Going to get the fear off. And here is everyone else. Handcat dodges away over Tyrex at the moment. Throws out the Swirl Seed. And that is a shutdown for Harry. A lot of gold injected into the Pigeon.
Yeah, Pigeon getting a lot of gold injected. And that looked like a 400 gold shutdown. So 700 gold in total going over to Harry. And boy, did he need it, because picking up that shutdown actually puts him even with Zandru, just to give you a bit of an idea of how far ahead Zandru got off of that bottom side play. Was also up a significant amount of CS as well. So MNM, aggression finally pays off. They had the numbers around in this instance. Zandru was still in the bottom side. MNM had their full bot lane rotate up to the mid. And it's closed the gold lead up a little bit as well, which is very good if you're playing Marshmallow Boys. Demise, though, still sitting relatively comfortable, as Zandru remained unaffected throughout those plays. So one of the key members still going to be... Oh, Pillar.
That was sad.
Oh, Pillar. That's a cool looking recall, though. Oh, wait, no, finish it. Not because it's a good reset time. Actually, how much gold does Pillar have in his pocket?
Not a lot.
Never mind.
He's got a dagger. Or a longsword, depending on what he wants, what he needs. Dagger, actually.
Yeah. Like you said, it's a mind game, honestly, up here, with the Steadfast Presence and the Belly Slam. Really know when to actually cast the ability, because it is basically an instant cast, right? So you never really know when to pull the trigger, as Honka was actually just chilling in the bot brush, decided to throw that Swell Seed. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, Tyrus is taking a trade here with Pillar, but Pillar has the knock-up, has the Fate Sealed available, not going to throw it out, not going to overcommit. There's too many members of MNM about. We'll be able to trade up pretty heavily there.
Oh.
Jump the Waters is going to connect, and this is Pillar getting knocked up as the Teemo comes down. The Fate Sealed is big, and the shield is even bigger. Tyrex gets himself a kill, but he's traded out evenly here. As DBL now bought back by everybody. Has to use the cast to keep himself alive, and Handcat being chased down. This is one speedy horse, bopping the deer into the waiting fangs of Harry. And Harry answers that. It's a 2-for-1 at the end of the day.
Yeah, and honestly, this combination Rel Hecarim is so oppressive. The Hecarim can dive so far forward and the binding still remains. So all you really need to do is connect that Onslaught of Shadows. You get that knockback in, then all of a sudden the Rel stun also keeps you locked up. Very, very powerful duo. Actually saw it, I believe, over the weekend from Resolve as well. So potentially taking a leaf out of their opponent's book there. But get the replay of it all. Tyrex feels comfortable to throw out the Chum the Waters. Shark lands, but the exhaust is there and it lowers how much damage Tyrex is doing by a significant amount. If that exhaust wasn't there, Tyrex probably could walk out of that one most likely alive. As
Look at a little summon here, but I mean, this is risky. Something gets caught out. The Featherstorm is dodged away with a Killer Instinct. Whew.
Yeah.
These teams are just skill checking each other constantly.
Yeah, this is yeah, I mean, it's MNM's playstyle, right? But Demise are actually answering out in kind in a lot of these scenarios. But the key thing to differentiate these teams at the moment is the fact that MNM have been able to pick up just about every neutral objective on the map so far.
Oh, no.
As a DBL doesn't have the cast, doesn't have flash, I think. This is a dead big man, Jake.
Yeah, it looks like Astronaut Poppy sending him to the moon with a knock-up is enough for them to find this kill. DBL loses his life. And he would have got it away if it wasn't for you pesky meddling junglers.
Speaking of junglers, Honkat has actually amassed what looks like a pretty sizable lead just in like CS to XP. Particularly picking up all of the kills as well. As Harry picks up that bottom side tower, I believe solo as well. Plate's still up, so there's a lot of gold. As Pillar doesn't have exhaust or flash this time.
Yeah, he's just absolutely annihilated. He uses the Fate Seal because Zero runs him down. Tyrex! Just about gets out.
Single digits. Single digits right there. That's always gonna feel bad. It's gonna sting. If you're Pillar right there, you did such a good job at responding to that dive, but just wasn't quite enough. We'll get a replay of it. And this is what I was talking about. Tyrex can pick and choose his trades. See him half health Pillar at first, and Pillar heals up a little bit. But he goes back in with that dash. Still has all of his spells available, but Tyrex just lands at pretty max range. Chum the Wars and tries to burst him down. But once that Spirit Cleave comes down, the shield is there. But fortunately for him, Kazuro in the area to just clean up what Tyrex started. And single digits.
So that was his window as well, because the exhaust was on cooldown. It's still technically on cooldown, but it'll be off by the time Tyrex wants to go for another trade once the Chum the Waters comes back. And Harry, fresh off base with the 3 kills in his pocket and the solo all the plates tower. Got the Gale Force in pocket, got the Sheen.
Yeah.
Working towards that Essence Reaver. Gonna head towards this mid lane, and looks like the bot laners are just gonna go. Sorry, the mid laners are gonna go bot lane now.
Yeah. It's gonna be a bit of a side lane game between Fizz and that could be a sleep.
Yeah. Lullaby. He just Gale Forces away a little bit, but as Andrew jumps in, there's the Featherstorm. They're buying some space for the moment, and that might be one dead deer. Big long range lantern because Zero will charge in. Pillar has to run away. Tyrex about to get the Chum the Waters, has got it, and the Teemo will feast tonight. Tyrex gets himself another kill.
Yeah, Tyrex eating on Soul Hunter tonight. And honestly, it's one of the core strengths of this Xayah pick and the Rel in combination. It's just so hard to dive forward. As a Regan positioning pretty aggressively at the bottom of the screen there. Kind of just threatening a dive. But honestly, all of the attention should be on this Rift Herald. Ooh, Death Sentence. Gonna fly wide.
It was close, but no cigar.
Yeah. Does Graves have his cigar back? DBL taking tower shot.
Gave it back, and meanwhile, in the top lane, DBL goes down.
Yeah, tank warfare. Rifty getting the better of that trade. Oh yeah, did they give it back? I know they gave it back in like a couple of places.
Yeah, I think he has it.
I know like in TFT, for example, when Graves was a champion.
Wait, he has it in TFT?
I think so. Oh, no, wait, actually, no. I think he was running a skin in TFT, like one of the earlier sets. Because I know, like during the Galaxy one, it was the space skin.
Yeah.
But I think in set one it was. Oh, it would have been the pirate skin. So I don't know.
Yeah, he would have had his pirate skin, which definitely doesn't have it.
Yeah, but here we see the sleep land, and honestly, Zandru commits forward, but Regan does a good job of like locking him up. And I mean, Honkai, he's trying to get onto Harry, and rightfully so. But the Feather Storm's there. He didn't even blow either of his summoners. That's how confident he was in not dying to that dive. Rift Herald are going to be dropped to just try and secure some mid lane priority. They actually need to stick around to make sure that Herald charges.
Yeah, it's taking a lot of damage. This Herald might just go down before the charge can come in, but Hankat's low. Fate Seal onto free by Pillar, and now he's just going to have to ping back to safety. The charge is cancelled as they lock members down. Hook is going to connect onto one, and that is going to be a killing spree as he is shut down by Rifty. 1 for 1 so far. Harry takes the Void Seeker. The Swirl Seeker's a little bit wide. Hook, same goes there. That is not the chum in the waters you want to see from Tyrex as the cast only hits onto Kuzi. Everyone is just blowing everything and missing everything. Regan gets a long-range Nutella on a pack. Does get the shield on, but he is going down. And now Tyrex is isolated as he jumps in onto Kuzi. Kuzi will bleed down to the dot, and Harry's still firing away. A free-man snare with a blade as he flashes over the wall. Xandru has no ultimate, but Harry will be shut down by Xandru. Here comes Tyrex looking for his own shutdown. It is so messy, and the ace will not even count because Pillar has respawned.
What a messy fight, and honestly, I might have overreacted to that Yone, or I thought we was going to get some more follow-up, but let's just see. So it all kicks off with MNM dropping the Herald, but they're not really caring about it getting the crash forward, and you see a nice free-man fate sealed from Yone, but there's no real follow-up to actually occur, and this is when Kazura overcommits to kill that Yone, and I mean, he's not fed enough to really be worth diving like this, and somewhere it just turns into a bit of a fiesta. I mean, the Chum the Waters misses. Everyone's kind of walking back and forth. No one really knows what's going on. The cast gets dropped in an attempt to bring Zandru into the team, and Regan finds himself separated by Rifty, and that's when Zandru just picks his moment. Rifty actually using the Steadfast Presence to stop the dash. Then now Kuzi steps too far forward, and he drops to the bleed. And just take a look at Harry. Look at all the feathers he gets. Hankar rooted up. DBL tries to move forward to assist his AD carry, who's flashed aggressively over the wall to keep those feathers coming down. Unfortunately for Demise, they do take down Harry, but they eventually just lose out on the fight, and it's an extended ace in favor of MNM. And they pick up that.
So messy. They did get the dragon during that replay as well. So 3 dragons looking towards that Cloud Soul. Lots of movement speed to work with. Is DBL taking a fight with Pillar? DBL,
I think
probably going to come for the better of that. Gets knocked up and Pillar. I know you think you're strong, but you are 1 and 6 right now, mate. He's really strong Gragas. Gonna wait out the extended lifesteal from the shield bow.
I don't think he has
to fate seal backwards, but I think the fat man may just kill him here. The exhaust use cast backwards. He has nowhere to go. And Pillar just gotta get sat on by DBL.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check what's in Pillar's anime watch list, because I think he might have been feeling himself a little too much. Now that he's got that Immortal Shield Bow finished up. I think just disrespecting the fact that this Gragas champion's pretty tanky. Speaking of tanky champions, I don't think this is a fight that Tyrex you want to pick, but
he's got Night Halves though. He actually does a fair amount of damage, and Rifty not really itemizing any magic resist. So
the thing is though, Poppy has such high base numbers. I forget which spell actually gives her the passive numbers. I believe it's actually Steadfast Presence. Speaking of, again, they're on the like. He's been interrupted.
No!
Wow. I mean,
what is going on?
It was well played from both sides, honestly. These are true. Nice heads up play to make it over the wall, but yeah, this is a game. Honestly, I mean, regardless of who, I mean, if Demise wins, this is huge. Not just for Demise, but also for the top end of the standings. It means London have an opportunity to pounce ahead of MNM. But honestly, I think even if MNM do end up closing out this game, I mean, it's way too close to call right now. Demise can certainly walk away happy with their performance. I mean, Pillar maybe a little less so. Into the big fat man. I mean, yeah. DBL.
Oh no.
DBL doesn't even have Grievous wounds to like lower the healing. So this is Pillar getting full value out of like the Storm, the Immortal Shield Bow's passive healing, as well as Conqueror. It just wasn't enough.
Well, Rifty and DBL, this is a little bit more favored against DBL in that particular fight, as Rifty is 4-1 right now.
Yeah.
It's actually going to be a pretty large Yordle, because you get the growth from your...
Oh, yeah, you do.
I can't remember what it's called. Frostfire Gauntlet? I think it's Frostfire Gauntlet.
Frostfire Gauntlet, that's correct.
Yeah, I'm learning. Yeah, so, big Yordle. Not that that really does much. Just gives you a larger hitbox.
I mean, it still feels weird seeing Rifty on a full tank like Poppy. Though, I mean, depending on your definition of tank, because of how much damage Poppy is actually capable of dishing out, you might call her
Poppy's
an
a bruiser
an AD
tank.
carry. Yeah, she...
Bit like Ornn.
Bit like Ornn. Yeah, well, not as bad as Ornn.
Not, yeah, the wave clear is a little less. Poppy, actually, I'm going to say this. Poppy has some of the best skins in the game. I don't play Poppy, and I wish I did, because she has such good, like, the astronaut skin is really cool, and the Hextech skin is really sick as well.
I feel like there's a couple of other, like, good candidates for that, but I could probably say Poppy's in, like, the top half of all champions, sure.
Who else do you think's got, like, amazing skins?
Your main, Jake Galio. I think Galio's got...
Galio has some pretty good skins. He's not my main. He's just someone I played a lot this season.
It's someone you play a lot this season. Hecarim's got good skins. We should probably focus on the dragon fight. That's probably about to occur.
Yeah, I think we might get a bit of a scrap here. Vision's getting set up by MNM. Handcat is going to find Harry with the Swirl Seed. Probably not going to throw out the Lilting. Oh, he's going to throw out that Lilting Lullaby. Actually gets himself untargetable. The Featherstorm dodging away on the Fate Sealed and pulls into the backline. Xandra's looking for Harry. Harry gets slammed back by Rifty and has nowhere to go. DBL can't belly bomb the wall. Meanwhile, Xandru gets jumped onto, and this is just such a scrappy fight, and it is ultimately Demise who are coming out on top. They have no fizz. They have no follow-up. It's a double kill picked up onto Xandru, making an ace. Demise wipe MNM off the map.
Yeah, they're gonna get Baron as well off the back of this. They're gonna send Pillar here to secure this dragon. He does have enough lifesteal to 1v1 that, and I mean, this is gonna be Demise picking up the Baron. A nice ace, and honestly, that's not the first time that we've seen Harry get clipped by a random Swirl Seed, and it turns into a sleep, and it's an advantageous fight for Demise to take. And ultimately, because it's split on so many fronts, MNM aren't actually able to protect their AD carry. And it turns into a positive fight for Demise. Honestly, all of a sudden, tone of the game has entirely shifted as a 4,000 gold lead. And here we just see it all starts with this sleep. And fortunately for Xandru, he lands the Void Seeker. And that's the important thing. He's able to get some of that critical damage off. It forces Harry to flash up and away back closer towards the Demise team. And Rifty's able to pick him up. And you can just see fight on both sides. Kazuro is attempting to 1v3 the bottom side. We've got DBL and Tyrex on the other side, trying to deal with Pillar, trying to deal with Rifty. By the end of the day, it's just not quite enough. And MNM, honestly, forwarding pretty hard. Demise in a pretty good position to actually take this game all the way. Still have a little whiles to go on that front, but certainly a promising position.
Well, Denying Soul was big against the Hecarim. Being able to take these turrets down now will close up some of that locked gold, as MNM still are helping gold for the moment. MNM trying to cut their losses here.
Yeah, gold graph on our screens, you can see explosive from Demise.
Sorry, it's Demise who up in gold. What am I talking about?
Yeah, it's Demise.
I don't know why I said MNM were up in gold.
It just feels like such a foreign sentence because of how this split's gone. I don't blame you. Have we at any point in the split so far said Demise have a gold lead? Probably not.
Yeah, true.
Except for that one win. Except for the win. Yeah, except for the one win. So be kind. But prime position here, they are kind of A-ramming a little bit though. I feel like you want to spread this Baron out, but at the same time, MNM will just immediately pounce on that core 4, so I'm not too surprised to see the ARAM coming in. As Kazuro's looking for an engage.
Charge. Oh, onto the back. Rifty could get himself caught out. Kazero comes in. They get the fate sealed off into Tyrex. Tyrex put to sleep by the Lilting Lullaby, trying to jump onto that backline. Can't quite kill Xandru.
Wow.
As the rest of the team find themselves asleep underneath the tower. Rifty looking to finish up Harry. Harry has to use the Featherstorm. They got the belly bot. They've got the moves. They've got everything they need. DBL, the only one standing as he is flayed back. The hook goes wide, and DBL able to sustain up for the moment as Pillar looks to continue the chase. Zips back to safety of the Soul Unbound. And they tried to find the assassination off on to Xandru, but Tyrex is chunked too quick. And this could just be the base. This could just be the game here for Demise.
Oh.
Can they do it?
I mean, they've got the members, but do they have the confidence? The health bars are low. I feel like the safe thing is just to back away for now. And honestly, just gotta press tab. You have to see that Xandru's got that stopwatch in pocket. Stopwatches that shark you see right there. That's the key thing. If he takes that shark damage, that might just be enough to drop him below lethal. And on the front side, I'm actually unsure how on earth Honkart's able to get such a monstrous sleep. I believe actually flashing forward, so MNM just following really hard, and Demise capitalizing on what is just continued over-aggression. I understand. You want to try and find your way back into this game if you are this MNM side, but diving so far forward into a team composition like this is just so dangerous.
Now, I will say for MNM, the one good thing is it was only mid lane tower that fell. Only mid lane inhibitor that fell. Their other towers are actually, altars are still standing. So Harry will get a bit of free time to get some farm because he needs to catch up. Xandru has 4 items to Harry, who will just finish up his third on this base here for the Infinity Edge. But really, really far down to Xandru, who, like you said, got the Zhonya's, got the Hurricane, got the Collector, and the Kraken Slayer. And it's the same for Tyrex. Tyrex really needs some items. He is not able to assassinate Xandru at all this game. And that's kind of his one job on the Fizz now.
Yeah, Xandru, honestly, from the start of the game, off the bottom gank, that MNM overforced. He's been looking really strong. And this Zhonya's Itemization is just going to make it all the harder for MNM to actually find their way on to the AD carry of Demise. It's looking really tough, but Demise, honestly, in prime position to secure their second win of the split. That's a nice knock-up.
Don't overcommit though from Pillar. Didn't have the Soul Unbound out, so understandable there. They're just going to choke out some of this jungle, steal away some of these blue buffs. We have got Dragon spawning in 30 seconds, and that would be Soul if MNM can get it, or a massive denial again for Demise, just buying time for them. So it looks like for now the attention is going to be more towards this mid lane. Pillar's just going to get a bit of free time into it. Night Harvester plus Lichbane does a lot of damage. Pillar chunked out heavily. We'll be able to heal back up with the shield bow. And it looks like this will just be the Dragon over to the side of Demise. MNM not even willing to contest it.
No, I mean, same situation as the opening game of the day. But kind of flipped because it is actually MNM who had the initial Dragon control. But when you're this far down, it's just not worth it, flipping a fight over a second Cloud Dragon. When realistically you lose that fight, you probably lose the game. It's only a Cloud Soul. No soul, no buff worth losing the game over.
No.
For MNM now, I mean, things, I don't know if things get better. That's the worrying thing for the joint second place team here. Is the composition of Demise just functions so well into what MNM are running. So falling behind an even bigger detriment than it would typically be. Maybe in a situation where they just have to try and let Demise come into them and they work with some of their defensive tools, but we've seen so many engages from Demise actually just work out. Despite the rail, despite the Featherstorm. So Demise now with this huge gold lead, pressure on towards the Baron. They bring MNM into them. It's most likely going to be a successful fight, and they're going to Death Rush here.
You are looking to set up. The hook is going to hit onto DBL. This looks to be the fight. Steadfast Presence is going to be stopping for the moment. The Slip Knife, that's a massive ultimate by Pillar, but it's not going to be enough as Harry's jumping away from Handcat. Handcat uses the stopwatch. Harry healing up for the moment. Has the feathers on the ground. Regan will lose his life, and it's a double kill for Xandru. It's only Tyrex. It's only Harry standing.
Wow.
And Tyrex is being run down by Pillar. The feathers have been called, and Rifty will get himself a rampage kill. It's an ace for Demise. They don't even need Baron. They've got the supers. They've got the wave, and this should just just be game. Our bottom seed team are looking to take out the teams tied in second right now.
Yeah, Demise honestly coming out huge today and just honestly capitalizing on what was senseless over aggression from MNM. And it looks like they are actually gonna just take this win. And honestly, I don't think you could fault anybody for saying that MNM were likely to wipe this game. But at the end of the day, it's Demise coming out with the win. And what a big win for them as well. Taking a win from the top side of the table. Often we talk about taking wins from people that are around you, because taking wins from people that are too far up, it almost seems like an impossible task, something that's never going to happen, but it's happened here. And honestly, Demise have been on the upswing as a team, right? We said their drafts have gotten a little more cohesive. They've been playing a little better. Obviously, they had to play Resolve this weekend, and we thought, strength of schedule, playing MNM as well, it looks like they might just go the entirety of the weekend, without picking up a win, the only win they could have picked up against Bulldog, which they didn't. But they come out, they surprise us. MNM overstepped their bounds yet again, much like yesterday. And Demise, of all teams in the league, actually end up punishing them for it, and they take the win.
Scrappy game, and honestly, it looked like Rifty was finally back. Xandru, we've been talking about the bot lane, the rookies, and they'd been a real question mark for them for a while, but honestly, just beautiful stuff there from Demise. They take out our second seed team and keep their hopes alive. There is still a chance that Demise can make playoffs. They need to win a lot of games, and this is a good way to start that. Guys, we're going to throw to a quick break, and when we're back, we'll actually have an interview and some more drawing. Woo! See you in a second.
Nothing is as it seems. I feel like I'm in a dream, but that's where I wanna be. And I feel free for the first time. And I feel free for the first time. For the first time. For the first time. For the first time. And I feel free for the first time. And I feel free for the first time. For the first time. For the first time. Nothing is as it seems. I feel like I'm in a dream, but that's where I wanna be. And I feel free for the first time. And I feel free for the first time. For the first time. For the first time. For the first time. And I feel free.
Rift Herald, see what he decides to do with that one. Flash comes in.
Are we?
Are we here?
I think we're here.
Oh, okay. Hello.
Right.
I had a bunch of things in my ears, and that didn't look like that was real time to me. The camera delay completely spooned me out. Hello, and welcome back to the UKLC. We actually have Xandru standing by for an interview. So, Xandru, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
I'm pretty bloody good. You're shaking things up a little bit there, mate, with that win. I bet you guys are feeling really chuffed right now after that.
To be fair with you, this has been the most chill game we've ever played. I mean, we went in with no pressure and it just felt different. It felt like we were playing a scrim. We were just playing together as a team. We were having fun and things were just working out. And I think if we play like this for the rest of the split, I don't think we would have any issue against any team at the moment.
That's good to hear. And you know, on the desk, we've been talking a lot about how, especially in the most recent set of games, you know, the last 4 or 5 games, you guys have definitely been looking a little better than obviously how you started out. You know, moving forward now, I think it's still going to be a bit of a tough road ahead.
Yeah.
You know, the early games do still have a lot of that impact, but you know, moving forward, how do you feel like you guys can actually, you know, progress even further? Because I feel like draft-wise, team play, you know, gameplay-wise, you guys have been looking a little better. Do you think you guys can, at the very least, sort of escape the drop zone? Yeah.
I think we're gonna aim for a little bit higher than that.
Okay.
You know, a team needs a goal to be motivated. And of course, if we have 0% chance to make playoffs, our next goal will be to not get relegated. So we have something to play for. But at the moment, there is still a chance, a tiny little bit of a chance that we do make playoffs. So for me, speaking for myself, that's my goal at the moment.
That's fair enough. So, I mean, what are the things that you guys have been working on to kind of get to this point then? Because, like Jemana said, you guys have been looking better and better, but, you know, the results haven't quite been there yet. But now got a pretty big win versus the team who are tied for second. What's like the big thing that you've been focusing on over this split?
It sounds pretty basic, but just working together as a team. I feel like our team has very strong individual players, but we really, really struggle to function as a team. And once we fixed that today, we just played like a group of friends. It just looked 10 times as better than any other game we played. And yeah, this is why I'm way more confident in the future games.
Awesome. Well, Xandru, congratulations on your win. Honestly, I really hope we get to speak to you again soon. I want you guys to keep winning because I like it when things get shaken up. I like to root for the underdogs. So big congratulations. I think you proved a lot of people wrong there. So keep it up and we'll speak to you soon, all right?
We will keep doing that. And see you later. Thanks for the interview.
See ya.
Awesome. Right. So, Jamada, there was a lot to break down there, and you had to pick one. What are you going to talk about, mate?
I'm picking the big game swinging fight. I believe Cloud Soul fight. Or perhaps it was the third Dragon. Actually,
it was Soul.
I think this is probably Soul. But yeah, honestly, one, I just want to say before we get into it, really nice to hear from Xandru. What a wholesome interview in a way. And two, honestly, Demise started off really poorly last split, so we'll see if they can actually recover. But looking at this game, so honestly, I like that we start on this freeze frame here because as you can see, Harry has actually been hit by a swell seed, and this is what kicks things off, right? Honka is going to actually trigger the sleep, and we'll see it actually just means an immediate go button for the likes of Demise, and we see the Featherstorm immediately comes out, and you see the unfortunate miss there from Pillar on the Fate Seal, but critically you can see there's actually Plasma on Harry. Xandru managed to clip Harry with a Void Seeker, and that's going to be the critical thing here, because you're going to see Xandru actually just takes the Killer Instinct to the backline in an attempt to assassinate Harry, and it forces him to actually flash up and away from his backline who can actually defend, or his frontline who can defend him, sort of closer and into danger's reach, where Rifty and Kuzi are waiting, and you're just going to see Harry unfortunately have to kite up and away, but Rifty immediately just capitalizes and kills him. Whereas on the other side, Zandru, under not really a crazy amount of threat once Kuzi is there with the Lantern, Tyrex gets exhausted. You see Harry drops the Rifty on the top side, and it splits into a fight on two fronts where Kazura and Regan on the bottom side, or Kazura on the bottom side isn't able to save his mid laner, and on the top side, DBL and Regan just get burned down by the remainder of the Demise composition. And honestly, the setup was MNM favored. It was MNM that had river priority. It was Demise that had to come and check into vision, but it's just a very nice sleep and capitalization on Harry's overzealous positioning.
Yeah, really, really good game. That was a lot of fighting. That's the kind of game I like. I like messy games. I like crazy games, and that's exactly what MNM versus Demise did deliver for us. But still more action to go here. So go have a wee. Go chill out after the break. We'll be back with Envision versus London. See you in a second.